Alright, so I was getting ready to watch Last of Us, and my review for that is already up on the channel. But as I was getting ready to watch Last of Us, I noticed a little trailer that had been released. The first official trailer for Ari Aster's next film called Eddington, which again sees Joaquin Phoenix come back and be in a starring role in an Ari Aster film. And I think this one is making the rounds at the festival circuit. I believe it is going to be at Cannes this year. So it'll be very interesting to see how well that does. But I'm very interested in. I've loved all of Ari Aster's work. Yes, even Beau is Afraid. Maybe one day I might make a video breaking down my crazy theory for that movie. But without further ado, let us take a look at the...
Of course, they keep looking at that lab in Wuhan, China. If you look at that lab in Wuhan, when that was established, it was 1956. Of course, that was the year Tom Hanks was born, the first celebrity with the virus, Mr. Sleepless in Seattle.
If you value your life, you should think twice. Because the people of Eddington like guns.
Your pain is not a coincidence. You are not a coincidence. We are not a coincidence.
And I am speaking now to deny my husband's announcement yesterday, which was false.
Eddington, New Mexico, despite its meager population, is quickly being co-opted in online circles.
I'm ready to continue leading our town and fighting the pandemic and the racial and economic...
They were knocking on charges, please.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, there's like a lot of names in this movie. Of course, Joaquin Phoenix, Austin Butler, Emma Stone, Pedropascal. Like, a lot of big names in this movie. And I'm very, very intrigued by this. So, from the trailer, it's set during probably the height of the pandemic, because the ticker said on the weather report said June of 2020. So, actually, what I'm going to do is we're going to go back and re-look at this like I did with the FNAF movie. We're going to re-watch this. Captions on. And we're going to slow it down. So yeah, they're looking... So yeah, this is definitely pandemic. Of course, they're looking at that lab in Wuhan, which is where the pandemic started. Ari Aster's name. When that was established, it was 1956, of course. Probably talking about the town of Eddington. Eddington, New Mexico. It was the year Tom Hanks was born, the first celebrity with the virus, Mr. Sleepless in Seattle. So, some conspiracy theories going around, because everyone had their conspiracy theories about the virus. Joaquin Phoenix's character, who's probably playing... I think one of the tickers said that he was a sheriff. So he's the sheriff of this town. And he's probably going to be one of those guys that doesn't fully believe in the virus. Let's keep watching. So he says, if you value your life, you should think twice because the people of Eddington like guns. So, maybe a warning from the sheriff about, like, maybe if people are, like, saying, hey, wear masks, you know, sheriffs might say, hey, you never know who might be carrying a gun around town. So, just be careful. Then we have Austin Butler's character saying, your pain is not a coincidence. You are not a coincidence. So, could be like one of those. How do I want to phrase this? Like, one of those, like, weird, out of the ballpark type of characters. That maybe have some religious undertones to it. I don't necessarily know. Again, this is like a brief glimpse at, like, you know, who we're gonna see in this movie. And he also goes on to say, we are not a coincidence. Keep scrolling. Here's Emma Stone's character, and I'm speaking now to deny my husband's announcement yesterday. Okay, so she's married to probably one of the main characters of this film, which was false. Eddington, New Mexico, despite its meager population, when you finish reading James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room, co-opted an online search. Let me look up really quick. Giovanni's Room. Book concerns events. The events in the life of an American man living in Paris and his feelings and frustrations with his relationships with other men in his life, particularly an Italian bartender named Giovanni, who he meets at a Parisian gay bar. So, I guess this is also, you know, is June Pride Month? I think June is Pride Month. Yes, it is. So I guess that would make a lot of sense. The ticker in the beginning said it was June 2nd. So this is probably a Pride post. Or it could be, you know, something else. Co-opted in online circles. And then we have a conspiracy. Michael Jackson was meant to be at a meeting in the World Trade Center on 9/11, but he overslept. I mean, I've not heard that conspiracy theory. Brian Frazee, Blackout Tuesday. I don't know what that means. I'm online, but I'm not, like, terminally online, so I don't know everything that's on the internet. I'm ready to continue leading our town and fighting the pandemic and the racial and economic. So, Pedropascal's playing the mayor of Eddington. On Instagram, he said, "Is in these unprecedented times, I vow to keep Eddington safe for every member of our community. Vote Ted Garcia for mayor." So that you know, kind of like thing of, like, you know, running on a lot of hopes and promises, but sometimes those hopes and promises aren't necessarily, like, met in a sense. And then the headline on CNN: Law and Order Sheriff assaults protester in town rocked by murders. So, on the ground in Sylvia County, New Mexico for report and bio. So, yeah, this is where Phoenix shoves the camera guy. And then we cut to him, Joaquin Phoenix's character, looking at his phone, which is, and he's trying to rub it off as an accident. It was an accident. I'm trying to explain it, and then we immediately cut to Phoenix in bed, kind of doom scrolling on Instagram to see all the, all the shit kind of roll downhill. That's basically the trailer. So, I find this a very interesting concept for Ariaster to kind of take on, because this is like real life. Like, you can look back, it's now almost 5 years now to back when, this was going on, and you can see all that stuff kind of happening, and it'll be very interesting to see what Ariaster dramatizes in this situation, because you can look at, the real life history and look and say, wow, that's really messed up, and you can put that in a movie and be like, well, people will go, oh, that just happened in a movie. That couldn't have happened in real life, and it did happen in real life. So it'll be very interesting to see what he dramatizes and what is, real life, events that happened. But yeah, color me intrigued by this movie. It'll be very interesting to see how this film takes with the public. Because much like Beau is Afraid, that was very bold, doesn't give a lot of answers, but was very thought-provoking. This one is going to be a different type of bold. I can feel that. But yeah, I'm very interested in Eddington. What did you guys think of the trailer? Let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Until next time, be safe, and I'll catch you next time.